And we begin the news on football. Former Ghana Football Association Kwesi Nyantakyi has been banned. That's former Football Association President Kwesi Nyantakyi has been banned for life from all football-related activities. He has also been fined 500,000 US francs for various breaches of FIFA's ethics as well as conflict of interest issues. The ruling, contained in a statement issued by FIFA, follows an undercover investigation by investigative journalist Anas Aremiya Anas, and the investigation, titled number 12, captured several grim corrupt activities by referees and some football administrators, including Kwesi Nyantakyi. Ghana's former FA president was captured in the video transacting business with a supposed investor and prospective sponsor of the Ghana Premier League. Unknown to him, he was transacting the business with the ace investigative journalist, whom he had demanded monies in excess of $11 million ostensibly from, to settle some of Ghana's top politicians, including the president, his vice, and some ministers of state. The president and his vice, as well as the ministers involved, have all denied the claims made against them. He was also seeking part payment of what would be ultimately a sponsorship package. In the event, the businessman sealed the sponsorship deal. In the end, he was given some cash, the total amount of which has been in contention since. It appears the World Football Governing Body had perused the petition, and after having concluded with its investigations, the rulings so far have not been palatable. Kwesi Nyantakyi will have no place in any football-related activity in the world. According to the statement, the adjudicatory chamber found Mr. Nyantakyi guilty of violating Article 19, which is related to conflict of interest, and Article 21 on bribery and corruption, and Article 22, Commission of the FIFA Code of Ethics, 2012 edition. And the statement continues: as a consequence, Mr. Nyantakyi has been banned for life from all football-related activities, including administrative, sports, or any other, at both the national and international levels. Additionally, a fine in the amount of some 500,000 Swiss francs has been imposed on Mr. Nyantakyi, according to the statement. The amount, if converted into Ghana cedis, amounts to about 2 million Ghana cedis. Well, we'll bring you more updates on the subject, but let's move on. The majority in Parliament has rejected calls by the minority for the dismissal of the Minister for Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, over the chaos witnessed recently at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Earlier this week, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu said Dr. Opoku-Prempeh and his Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, should be held ultimately responsible for the violence that led to destruction of property at the university when the protest took place last week. However, Chairman of the Committee on Education of Parliament, Siaka Stephen, says the blame should be placed rather at the doorstep of the Vice-Chancellor. Though there appears to be a resolution of the issues at the meeting between the stakeholders and a roadmap agreed, there seem to be some divisive conclusions so far.
Is that the solution? When we ask the minister to go, would that solve the problem once and for all? Debbie, ask them, what would they have done differently if they were in power? This is what we want to hear.
The same way that you asked the Vice-Chancellor to go because the issue had to be resolved, they think the minister should go.
No. The minister has not committed any crime. Under the watch.
Say the principle of ultimate responsibility.
No, under his watch, we have seen the magnitude of what has happened in the school there. So what do? If events are surrounding you, events surrounds you, and you need to be investigated, I don't think the proper thing is that you set aside so that you come out clean. But if you are there, you obstruct, frustrate, and people.
In fact, the minority says the minister and his colleague, the Minister of State, backed the principle that the university halls, single one, should be converted to mixed. And so they supported that policy, which has led to
There's one thing giving you direction. Another thing, how to work this direction, to make this direction into fruition. If you mismanage it that way, it will lead to what we are seeing. So the fact that you say, I don't know whether it's confirmed, the fact that you say, oh, you support the idea, doesn't mean you should go and disregard everybody and start harassing students, denying them their rights, even to the extent of killing some, according to some of the social media. All these things are some of the factors, remote causes. That is not the fact that we should use Katanga Hall as a, this time, double.
So for you, there is no need to let the ministers go?
I will not be too quick, to pass judgment, because Parliament is a record of all history in Ghana. So it is incumbent upon us as a committee to invite the minister and the agency, to invite the VC and his team, to invite the student reps and listen to their share of opinion. And then we will bring report to Parliament. We will all debate on it. After that, there will be directions here and there. And it will remain as a document, a record to refer to at any point in time.
I think we need to commend the ministry. We cannot just think that it's an easy thing to do. I mean, I've been a minister before. It is not easy for a politician to take a decision, and then because of the pressure that is coming, for the person to track. And on this, that I sincerely think that we need to commend the ministry. We encourage them to keep that attitude. You start something, you may have well thought through, you may thought that it is right, but once the issues are pointed out to you, you backtrack and allow the right process to go. And it's with this that I commend the ministry. And I hope that they are going to keep to their word. By Friday, we'll get the council constituted properly, the Vice Chancellor back in his office, then school reopens, then the council, using their own statutes, will be able to go into the nitty-gritties and be able to get to the bottom of the issue. Because I think that student concern has to be listened. You need to listen to student concern. We need to protect public property. We need to get KNUST back to its normalcy. And I think that, I mean, with fairness, I mean, we're condemning what they were doing. They did right by backtracking, and I commend them for that.
Well, let's still remain in Parliament, and the Majority Leader, Oseiche Mensah Bonsu, says Parliament will not be pressured to speedily pass the Right to Information Bill into law. His comments follow failed attempts by members of the Media Coalition on the Right to Information Bill to enter the parliamentary chamber on Tuesday to mount pressure on the MPs. The bill has been pending in Ghana's parliament in the Fourth Republic for the last 14 years. And the coalition timed the action to coincide with the resumption of sittings early Tuesday. The action was, however, scuttled by the police. Our parliamentary correspondent, Joseph Opoku-Gapo, witnessed all the scenes.
Members of the Right to Information Coalition were in Parliament House earlier today as part of their efforts to pressure the House to get the RTI bill passed. But the security in the House prevented them from entering on the basis that they had come in branded T-shirts. Well, they say this would not discourage them, even as they try to continue to pile the pressure on Parliament to pass the bill as soon as possible.
The stance of the police and the security in Parliament was rather counterproductive to themselves, because you see, when you do this, what impression it creates is that the media people in Parliament will carry the story as though there was some level of, chaos in Parliament and all of that. But this could have been completely avoided. I think that, again, I repeat, the way and manner in which it was handled was much ado about nothing. I have confidence that we have media men and women who have pledged and committed to this action, and we will go every step of the way, with our leadership. We'll make sure that we put in place every medium legally, allowed by the laws of Ghana to ensure that parliamentarians will feel the pressure and do the needful.
The RTI bill was on the agenda of the House for today as one of the items that they would be considering. But the Majority Leader indicated that A lot of the members of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee who are supposed to lead the discussion and push through the necessary amendments were absent, hence the House's inability to look at that bill today.
They are, I understand, previewing the company's bill. For what reason, none of them is here with us, and because they are supposed to be the lead pilots of the bill, may I plead that we stand the consideration down until tomorrow.
Minority Chief Whip in Parliament, Muntaka Mubarak, is asking government to show a lot more commitment to help him push through the bill by prioritizing it.
I hope that the majority or government will prioritize the right to information. Well, I have always argued, I've been a majority whip before, when government wants something done, they know what to do. They are sometimes ready to dedicate additional resources for this house to sit up to 9 p.m. and get things done. I am confident that they will keep to their word. Let's show commitment. Let's make it the front bench. Let's keep it in front, and let's not distract it most frequently with other things.
Majority Leader Seiche Mensah Bonsu says the House will not be pressured into passing the bill. They'll do things at their own pace, but he's giving a fresh deadline by when they hope to get this done. And that deadline is the 15th of November.
We know what we must do. We're not responding to any pressure. We know what we must do, and we'll do it. The people of this country have sent us here to do a good job for them, and that is what we are going to do.
Isn't that why we are where we are?
So why should anybody exert pressure on you before you do what you are expected to do? Nobody should rush Parliament. We will do what is expected of us and be very diligent about our job.
At today's sitting, it was also disclosed that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, will appear before MPs on the 15th of November to present the 2019 budget statement. From Parliament House in Accra, Joseph Opokugapo reporting.
Well, talking about the media and journalists, neglect by media houses and journalists themselves of their own safety has been identified as a major factor to the continuous attack on journalists in the line of duty. In the last 10 months alone, 11 journalists have been assaulted, with JoyNews reporter Kwesi Parker Wilson being the latest. Speaking on PM Express, former media manager and current CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Ashibe, says until journalists stand up for themselves, the brutality would continue.
How many times have you reported even the issues of Fatih, Latif, you know, how many times? So it's because you're quiet. In other jurisdictions, when these things happen, they would be reporting it. So it's like the Corruption Perception Index. Yeah. You know, because we talk about it a lot more than we talk about ourselves being beaten. True. That's what it is. So if we started actually, you know, reporting in the media, talking about it in the media as it is happening, because one person a day, a month, can you look at other professions? The doctors,
no profession has that
exactly.
sort of abuse. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's because we ourselves, we have been quiet. So we are letting it seem as if all of these things are not happening. You really need to search before you really can get all of the things that have happened. Doing a case research, even the men's gold, you know, assault, you won't find it in works that we have done. So it's important for us, apart from taking action, like we're all calling that, we all need
and we'll try to define the action.
Yes.
What should the action look like?
But let's report these things on a consistent basis, even for multimedia. What's sitting on your platform? Yeah. You look at Latif, you get into you raise it for a few days, then you leave it, you forget it completely. You know, then there's the issue of the lady who was beating up. So we need to be consistent at it, so that when the research is being done, it would reflect what actually the situation is.
And on the show, investigative journalist and columnist with the Business and Financial Times, Esther Ama, said the rights of journalists would be respected if only journalists themselves took the lead. Describing the event as unfortunate, Ms. Ama blamed the media fraternity for not appreciating what they stood for in our society.
So when we say the military doesn't understand or appreciate us, the police don't understand or appreciate us, the public do not understand or appreciate us, my first question is, do we, as the media, understand and appreciate what it is we do? Because what the public and the politicians in particular understand, give it a few days and we'll all take our eye off that particular ball. They'll just say, wait them out. They'll go on to the next issue and we can all relax again. So they can rely on our neglect of our own safety to justify their inaction. If we want their inaction to shift, we need to apply the tools, the weapon of journalism to place consistent pressure on an issue. If we're going to say we're going to stand, we have to stand. Because otherwise, what does our critique mean? Really, what does it mean? We talk about the importance of a profession that we as the profession don't take seriously in terms of our safety. Because if you're not safe to do your work, your work will fail in terms of the quality of what you're able to contribute. Because what? You'll be scared to ask questions.
True.
It's in the asking of questions that the assaults have happened.
That's true.
And before we go, the Wa police have arrested a 32-year-old man for allegedly engaging in mobile money fraud. Nuruddin Abdul Ganiu is said to have duped over 50 people in the last 2 years in the Upper West region. He was arrested last Thursday at his hideout at Garugu in Tamale in the northern region. JoyNews Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam brings us the latest.
He showed no sign of nervousness or remorse over what he has been accused of in the last 2 years. He was loud and seemed to be bragging as he mumbled an account of how he allegedly defrauded 8 of his victims.
So when I call you, because the next time I'll change my voice, not through the phone, I'll change my voice. I'm not with anybody. I've collected a lot of money.
Yeah, it's true.
I can't remember the amount, but it's a lot of money.
Born Nuruddin Abdul Ganiu, the notorious fraudster, recently claimed he would be called Nicolas Anelka, the name of the lanky French footballer. He is alleged to have defrauded over 50 persons to tune of 150,000 Ghana cedis. He has registered over 40 mobile phone SIM cards with different names to aid in his criminal act.
You know the ID card is 10 digits. When you mention the number, you mention in the register, you put the name as of the ID number. When you mention the 10 digits, it will register. And for the phone, when they register like that, it will register the Vodafone card direct.
It was revealing and explosive. His victims and the police appeared riveted and appalled. Anelka's first victim was former Upper West Regional Chairman of the MPP, Alhaji Abubakar Abdul Rahman Short. Alhaji Short expressed shock at the incident after the suspect confessed to the act after helping to the suspect to pay his school fees. Anelka, prior to committing the act, confessed to styling himself as a journalist and worked for Angel FM in the Upper East region.
It's Angel FM. And if you call them, ask them what I was telling them story, they will tell you. Even I can tell you one story, I'll ask it for them. One of them, the Tongorana, the time the Metro Mass, the time the Metro Mass connived with the Toronto car at Kintampo side.
The suspect confessed to using proceeds from his alleged dubious act to build a 3-room bungalow, which is at rental level around what DVLA office. Deputy Upper West Police Commander ACP Peter Ndekuru Anaburi, who for 2 months has launched a manhunt for the suspect, opened up on how he was arrested at his hideout at Gurugu in Tamale.
We started tracking him, that was around August. Getting him was a problem. So when we were now getting closer to him, all of a sudden we were told by one informant that he has left town and we don't know his whereabouts. Fortunately, we have someone who gave us information that he has run to Tamale and he's hiding in Tamale. I quickly called somebody in Tamale to go underground and find out, and we gave the number to the person. And lo and behold, last Thursday, I had a call that he had been picked up. He has duped a lot of people. A lot of people. Right now, the names that we are having, there are about 13 names. You have seen the names. I've showed you the names. And the list is 1,005. The list is 1,000. He has about 13 SIM cards. And he tells us how he gets the SIM cards. He goes to mention 7 digits, which he says belongs to National Health Insurance, and without verification, and they register the SIM card. He goes to mention 10 digits, which belongs to voter's ID, and they will not verify and they issue the SIM card. So my appeal is that if we need to actually contain this mobile phone fraud, at least the security system might be improved for the service providers. All the service providers, whether Airtel, Vodafone, and MTN, we must streamline the way they operate, or else this country is heading towards trouble.
He has allegedly defrauded James Sontakugbe, popularly known as the Guys, of 5,250 Ghana cedis. He is happy that he has been apprehended. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Well, you're smart until you get caught. But we're smart here because, as always, we bring you the best coverage. That's it for the latest news update. Still to come.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month has become a catalyst for saving lives and a rallying cry for survivors, patients, and advocates alike. October is when breast cancer stories are particularly important because it shows how anyone, young or old, rich or poor, family history or not, can be impacted by breast cancer. And as the campaign draws to a close, I sit down with 3 incredible women. Meet Ishita, a beauty blogger. Adam, who recently graduated from medical school, and the CEO of Janem Salon and Spa, Janet. Join our open conversation as we discuss our breast cancer fears.